What's up, Saints? It's Pastor Jay-Z Cross, Dorcasville Baptist Church, where charity is key. Welcome to Throwback Thursdays. Hopefully this word from the past will bring something better in your future. To the book of Exodus this morning. Coming out of the third chapter, going from the second verse down through the seventh verse. And the angel of the Lord appeared to him in a flame of fire from the midst of a bush. So he looked, and behold, the bush was burning with fire, but the bush was not consumed. Then Moses said, I will now turn aside and see this great sight, why the bush does not burn. So when the Lord saw that he turned aside to look, God called to him from the midst of the fire and said, Moses, Moses. And he said, here I am. Then he said, do not draw near this place. Take your sandals off your feet, for the place where you stand is holy ground. Moreover, he said, I am God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. And Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look upon God. And the Lord said, I have surely seen the oppression of my people who are in Egypt, and have heard their cry because their taskmasters, for I know their sorrows. I just want to talk from the topic, nothing you've been through shall be wasted. Nothing you've gone through in your life will be wasted. If you look at this man by the name of Moses, he was born in a time where the Pharaoh had a decree to kill all of the male children, to throw them into the Nile River, because he heard of the prophecy of someone being born out of the Israelites to lead the people out of Egypt. And he knew that his workforce would be decreased. Not only because the man cannot repopulate the population of Israel, but also because he knew that a man-child was going to be the one to lead the Israelites out of Egypt. So we find that Moses' mother hid him for 3 months. And when she could hide him no longer, she made a basket and put him in the Nile and told his sister to watch. And as that boat began to roll down the Nile, the Pharaoh's daughter saw him and looked upon him and didn't see him as a Hebrew, but she saw him as a child that needed someone to raise him. And the way God began to fix this up, his own mother began to suckle him and nurse him for the first 3 years of his life. And he began, after that, she took him back to the Pharaoh's house, and he became an Egyptian, so to speak. Just because something doesn't work doesn't mean it's an attack from Satan. It could be possibly that you're resting in a place where God had already been. You understand what I'm saying? You were at a place where God was already there, and he already left. And we get complacent in that situation. Lo and behold, this man by the name of Moses grows up, learns all the Egyptian traditions. They say that he was a scholar, he was a scientist, he knew tactical pursuits and different things. But something was different about this man. He said that one day he went down to the people, his people. And the text never tells you that Moses identified himself as being a Hebrew. He never declared to the people that I'm Hebrew. But it said in the text that he went down to his people. And he saw the heavy taskmastership of his people. And he looked one day that the man was getting beat so badly that he looked to his left and looked to his right, and he saw that no one was around, so he killed the Egyptian man. And then the next day, he thought everything was all good. No one saw me doing what I was doing. So he saw two Hebrews getting into it. And he asked the question, man, why are you doing this to your brother? And the man replied to him, well, I saw what you did yesterday to the Egyptian. Why are you trying to rebuke me when you were the one that did something to your brother yesterday? And he began to get scared because I'm not the only one that knows about what happened yesterday. And now that this Hebrew man knows what has gone on, word is going to get back to the Pharaoh that one of his only begotten, because it said that he could have been the heir to the throne because he had the lineage now because the daughter of Pharaoh had adopted him. This man who could possibly be Pharaoh has gone and chastened and raised his hand to his own nation. So we find that Moses started running. He ran out the land into the desert. I can imagine that Moses was out there shouting, because I got out of my troubles. Pharaoh didn't catch me, but he ran into another situation. Have you ever been in a time where you got the victory in one place, but at the same time you had a temporary defeat on the other hand? You shouting on one side, but having something going on the other side. Moses is dealing with this situation here. I've left the land, but now I'm going to a land that I'm foreign to. I'm not the prince no more. I don't have the fine robes no more. The jewelry ain't going to do me no good out here tending sheep and in the wilderness. Matter of fact, I don't even know how to survive in this wilderness because I grew up when people just gave me stuff. Go ahead, I don't know about me right now. This man, he's about 40 now when this happens. And he's out there and he begins to learn how to tend sheep. Can you imagine the pride and the humility that this man had to go through, because now everything is not at his beckoning calling. Everything ain't at the snap of his fingers. He has to now work for what he has. He has to now sweat at the brow in order to receive the benefits of his labor. But just this morning, I want to talk to the side of us that we don't want to say anything about. Everybody in this church has a side of them that they don't like to talk about. A side of them that they don't want to testify about. A side of them that they didn't always feel comfortable about. You know, I want to talk to that side of each and every one of us, the ones that went through the suffering and went through the heartache and went through some things in life that we still trying to figure out. What Moses didn't understand was he was running from his past to run into his purpose. He ran from his past so that he could run to his purpose. This man now is learning how to live in the wilderness. He now is learning how to tend some sheep. He's learning now how to survive in the wilderness where there ain't water readily available. He's learning now how to sustain himself and his family without having a servant doing his beckoning call. He's in a different place, in a different mindset. He had to change who he was. Lo and behold, this man is now pushing about 80. And he looks up on a mountain and he sees a bush starting to burn. And what fascinates me is the fact that he saw it, but he said, well I'm curious now. How I've been living in this desert for 40 years. How is it that this bush is burning when it's on fire, but it's not burning? I've got to see this thing. Many of us miss our calling because we see the bush burning on fire, but we don't have the curiosity or the drive to climb up the mountain to see why the bush ain't burning. Do you hear what I'm saying this morning? We pass our destiny over and over again. And the bad thing about it is we see it, but we don't take steps to go climb to see where it leads us. This man, there's something drawing me to the top of the mountain that I quite don't understand. But what I do know, that if I climb the mountain, I will have a better understanding of why and what I should be doing. Many would have thought this man was crazy, but he climbed that mountain. And he had his first encounter with his destiny. He told him, "It's you. I heard the cry of your people. I've heard the harsh taskmastership of the people. And I am using you to go back to the Pharaoh and let my people go." And Moses is still sitting there trying to process all of the things that God is showing him right now. I just came up to the bush to see why it's not burning. Come on. But when I got up to the top of the mountain, I found something else. I was looking at the bush with the naked eye, trying to qualify or scientifically diagnose why it's not burning, but you hit me with something spiritual.
Come on, take your time, man.
So lo and behold, he gets his calling, goes back down the mountain, and he has an identity crisis. I'm too Egyptian to be Hebrew, and I'm too Hebrew to be Egyptian. How am I going to draw these people to me when I was once the prince? How am I going to be an effective leader when they don't trust me? They don't know nothing about me. They know I was the prince. And God revealed to me that God wants to use misfits. I'm not saying the misfit by the bad connotation of it. What I mean is the person that just don't fit in the mix, because in order to draw the people from where they are, you cannot be like the people. And in order to rebuke the Egyptians, you can't just be like the Egyptians. And in order to lead the Israelites, you can't just be like the Israelites. I'm looking for a misfit. Is there a misfit out there in this congregation that's willing not to be like everyone that's around me, that's willing to withstand the ridicule of the people, that's able to withstand the people saying, "I knew about your past"? Oh, hallelujah. Here's a quote. Man. Oh, my God. All these people who knew you then will hold you back then. You hear what I'm saying? They knew you then, and they will hold you to back then. How are you going to compel me to change when you were in the same situation that I'm in right now? How are when you were the one living the same way that I am right now? How are you going to lead me when you were doing the same thing that I'm doing right now? I don't understand what you're doing right now. And Moses began to have this thing. But God is telling him and he's telling us that the reason why I took you to the wilderness for 40 years was because if I let you lead the people at age 40, neither you nor them could survive in the wilderness. Come on now. These Israelites didn't know what it was to live outside of Egypt. Moses didn't know what it was to live outside of Egypt. He had to learn what it was to lead these people when there was no water. How to keep these people together when all they see is sand. I have got to have you suffer in order for you to have some credibility. And we wonder why we go through our wilderness. It's because we need credibility. We need to show these people that I was a survivor in the wilderness. I left Egypt with nobody, but I found myself in the wilderness. That's why I said nothing you go through is wasted. God had to take this man in an atmosphere or environment that seemed to be hostile. It seemed as though he would fail and die to learn how to teach the Israelites how to live. He had to go through the wilderness to gain the experience of how to lead a stiff-necked people. A nation that always wanted to go back to its beginnings. A nation that every time trouble came in their way, they had to say to Moses, I'd rather go back to Egypt than to step forth a little while further. I had to take you in the wilderness in order for you to be steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the word. Can you do what you gotta do? Where the Lord has placed you to learn what you gotta learn so you can move on to the next level. We wonder why many of us are still in the same grade. It's because we keep failing to stretch out on faith and always aligning ourselves with our past, keeping our old nameplate on our minds when God has said, I have moved you already out of Egypt. Start walking like you a true Israelite. We let our past experiences, the negative ones, hold us to a half testimony. We let the bad things that happened in our childhood hold us to a half testimony. We allow the things that happen in our families to hold us in a half testimony. And we blame God Almighty for the situations that were brought upon you and in your family. Holding ourselves in Egypt land. Every time someone talks to you about God, the first thing that comes to your mind is the things that God did not do for you. Have you ever been there? When God seems to not answer your prayers when you want him to. And every time you try to rebuke a certain thing, it keeps coming back. In the name of the Father and the Son, I rebuke you, demon. All of this and that, and the next thing you know, the same thing comes to you once again. Have you ever been there when your dreams haunt you at night? Have you ever been there when every time you go to bed, you still think about that thing that just terribly made you uncomfortable? Asking God, why did I go through a divorce? Why did my family break up? Why is my brother or sister lost? Why am I going through such hard situations? But God is telling you, I have got to take you through these things because somebody is coming after you. And they need a testimony. They need some hope. They need to know that somebody made it out. I can't get no hope from you if every time you talk, you're still reveling in the same situation. I can't get no peace in my situation if every time you talk with no faith. I'm in Egypt and I'm trying to get out, but I need a Moses to lead me out. Hallelujah, somebody. I don't ask the question why no more. I need to concentrate on where he's taking me. I ain't got no time to revel in why some things happen badly in my life. How else can I draw somebody out of the waters if I'm still in there drowning in my sorrow? Do you hear what I'm saying? How else can I give somebody the introduction to Jesus if I'm still in the Nile River trying to get some air? I cannot compel somebody if I'm in the same situation that they are in. God is calling for us to look at our negative things and turn it to a positive angle. To understand that things may happen adversely to us, and it may not happen in our favor, but we have to go to the underlying meaning. Because every challenge, there is a victory. It may take some time to get there, but there is victory on the other end. Many of us are still in a situation because we don't see victory. We just see the tragedies and challenges. Every morning I wake up and my situation ain't fixed. Every time I wake up, I got less money in the bank. Every time I wake up, I don't get the call that was once was lost as now is found. Every time I wake up, my household is still in shambles. Every time I wake up, my wife or husband don't show me the love that I deserve. Every time I wake up, My children are still out there doing what they big and bad enough to do. Every time I wake up, I'm still in the same occupation. I'm still in the same job, but I know I deserve better than this. Have you ever been there when you are just so frustrated with your situation? You get so frustrated that it begins to drain on your faith. It begins to drain on your hope. It begins to drain on your spirit. Every time you come home, you're exhausted. Not only physically, but spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. Some days I know many of us go home and just want to lay down in the bed because of all the things that are pressing on us at the same time, and we are not able to get our deliverance when we want it. But nothing that you're going through shall be wasted. Nothing that you're going through shall be wasted. For the same God, he's a suddenly kind of God. What I mean by that is suddenly things begin to happen in your favor. If they say it don't take God long to do what he got to do, because you know why? Because it's already been done. We have got to put ourselves in the mindset that it's already been done, but my physical man has got to catch up to where God is. You hear what I'm saying? You have got to have that faith that eventually I'm going to meet up with God and that my victory is right there where God is. It is a trick of Satan to make you blame God for your situation. It is a trick of Satan to have you to doubt how powerful God is. It is a trick of Satan to have you blame God for your situation. It is a trick of Satan to have you doubt how powerful and how sovereign God is. It is a trick of Satan to have your faith be at a minimum. Because he knows if he takes your faith and your joy, you will never see victory. If he takes away your hope, you will never see victory. If he takes away your prayers, you will never see victory. He wants to chop you down from the trunk. Satan don't believe in chopping off branches. He wants to take the whole trunk down, because if you have no trunk, you have no branches, which has no leaves, which has no fruit, which has no deeds, which has no works. Because faith without works is dead. Come on, somebody. He's trying to restore our faith within us. He's trying to restore our mentality of no matter what I'm going through. I'm a one more round fighter. Satan, you may knock me down in round one, but I'm getting up on round two. You may give me a black eye in round two, but you're going to see me in round three. You have got to learn how to fight the duration of the fight. Some of us got that speed faith. What I mean by speed faith, if it don't happen within a short amount of time, you lose your faith. God, I'm giving you 1 month to get me out of my situation. I'm going to praise you 3 Sundays out of the row. On the 4th Sunday, he ain't come by my house yet. You start losing your faith because you got God on a timetable. You promised me this and you promised me that, but I ain't getting on my time. God said, I got to keep you in the wilderness a little while longer. The reason why he keeps us in the wilderness a while longer is the same reason why he had to keep the Israelites in the wilderness a while longer. It's because their minds were not ready to receive that Canaan land. So I'll tell you a shortcut. Change your mind. Hold on to your faith. If you hold on to your faith, God will hear. He said he heard the cries of the Israelites, and he began to move his throne to change their atmosphere. So if you hold on, God sees that, and he will shorten your wilderness time. But if you keep crying, keep complaining, he's going to stay right in that wilderness. Nothing